Hi all, I have sped away from the Rick Owens show, who I'm going to be talking about now, Spring Summer 20 Menswear. This is the invitation. For those in the know, Rick Owens invites are always this long rectangular square shape. I'm yet to discover why, so if you know, please do comment below. This is a real indicator of the collection. So this is a slice of the British artist Thomas Houseago's like kind of Aztec-y referenced wall that he's done, and Rick always shows in the Palais de Tokyo outside during summer, inside during autumn winter, and one of Thomas Houseago's kind of figured sculptures, brilliant, huge, slightly distressed and hunched and black and dripping, really visceral actually, was in the middle of the Palais de Tokyo just by chance. And so Rick kind of messaged him saying, my show's going to be here, I'd love to incorporate you in the show. And Rick, this collection was looking to reference his Mexican heritage in a kind of angry rebuttal to the US president and his move to create a wall divide against Mexico and America. And just by coincidence, Thomas Houseago had been referencing, kind of looking into Aztec symbolism and also Mexican art as well. So that was a very serendipitous moment. So Thomas Houseago's sculpture was in the space, but for the show, as well as contributing to the invite, he'd shipped his kind of clay all the way over from LA to create this almost miniature border and wall that the models then walked around. So a really explicit signifier of this political undertone to Rick's collection. Before the show starts, there's three individuals who come on, and they are performing a remix of Michelle Lamy's Lazarus Band song, but in kind of native, really traditional Aztec language, and also in really ritualistic rhythm, so really long, solemn, as you would expect from a Rick show, very heavy on the bass as well. So that really added a dark mood, and what followed was really angry, but in a really beautiful way, if that makes any sense. I think this is one of the best Rick shows I've ever seen, and I do feel like I say that every season as well, but the glam rock element that we saw in the previous menswear collection was very much still here. Huge sculptural shoes with big platforms, clear platforms and giant, so much so that when the models moved in the right light, it looked as if they were heelless shoes, almost like Noritaka Tatahana. Then we've got the wonderful tight leather trousers, which again comes from the glam rock collection, but these are really remixed. So again, Thomas Houseago has contributed to some of the clothes as well, so really strappy, again quite visceral, strappy markings and lacings on the leather trousers, which was brilliant, really textural as well, and that with the leather and the jacket, some of which were cropped, really exposing the chest, were brilliant. Casting, as ever, is always fantastic at Rick, and he tends to go for a similar few faces, so it was really nice to see the same characters kind of follow this Rick narrative. He'd also collaborated with some really interesting people, so there was a few Champion logos I spotted on some t-shirt vests and some of the poppered long line kind of bodies, but Rick always styles them kind of open, so the popper's hanging over the crotch. I believe there's a Champion logo on some of those, and definitely on some vests, and this Champion kind of athletic branding is in keeping with kind of Rick's childhood visiting Mexico. All of his cousins used to wear Champion when he went, and so this real autobiographical narrative coming through in the Champion clothes. I'm really hoping these are an entry-level price point for Rick, because Rick is extremely expensive, but I really hope that these are kind of a digestible version, which is something he's been doing with Birkenstocks and also Veggie, the trainer brand, the sustainable trainer brand. Those were back as well. So a really nice collaboration. And then again, one more collaboration in the United Farm Workers Association. They'd very kindly let Rick use some of their logos on the chest, which is kind of a bird with UFW written here, and proceeds to that will go in support of them as well. So there's lots to digest in this collection. In particular, I really want to talk about the Mexican references. There was a lot of really beautifully subtle Aztec lines and patterns, particularly in some really phenomenal sequined jackets, but and coats. The coats were white and cream and beige, and so you really had to look to see kind of this kind of much more linear patterns on the back in sequins, really faintly done. Again, the outerwear here was fantastic, really holographic, sheeny jackets in pinks and blues, and then those mirrored in the typical Rick Owens wide leg trouser. Some of them kind of had a jacket bunched across the top, and I'm yet to decipher if those were two pieces or one. So it was beautiful wide leg trousers and sometimes slimline in this holographic, sheeny, oil slick pinks and blues, which feels very kind of Mexicana celebration, and again with gold sequins later on, this kind of sense of celebration and sense of celebrating all things Mexican. And but yes, as I say, so trousers start having a twisted jacket at the top, and I'm not sure if they're two separate pieces, but that with the simple Rick white vests and tops I thought was really brilliant. And again, everything ended with these platformy shoes or the trainers. I just thought it was brilliant. There was little bits to pick up, kind of really bearing of flesh on the chest, low scooping necklines or no top at all underneath the jacket. And just a really powerful message. The music was fantastic, the detailing, and something that I don't normally associate with a Rick show, but just these little tiny moments that were just fantastic. Rick often does kind of lots of interlinking things that you have to keep your eyes peeled for, but for me it was the detail of the line and the finish on some of these clothes that was just fantastic. So really, really brilliant collection. I'm thoroughly impressed. I really can't wait to see people wearing it on the street. There's lots of Rick fanatics out there. You often see them in the front row of the show in full Rick, and I really love that the Rick lovers that might be drawn to the all black kind of ever so slightly gothic looks are here wearing bright pink glittery coats. So I thought that was brilliant. It was just fantastic. I urge you to go and see it on SHOWstudio. Definitely go and have a look. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please do subscribe, and as I say, head to SHOWstudio to see the show in full. Lots more to come, and see you very soon.